All right, welcome back. We're still in that segment where all we do is talk about the 2018 FIFA World Cup. We told you earlier, Brazil are out. In the semi-finals, you have Belgium and France, and two spots still up for grabs, and that's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at the chances of the Three Lions of England. Of course, they've not played the kind of football some of their fans want to see, but the fans have been saying, look, we'll pick the result any day over at the style of play, and that's been what everybody has been saying. Usually, the England manager gets a lot of criticism, but what you've seen from the ex-players, from the fans, they don't care how Southgate gets the job done. They don't care if most of Harry Kane's goal is from the penalty spot. Nobody cares about all that. What they care about is that the English team keeps going forward, and they have a very good chance. They got what they wanted. This is the kind of route they wanted to pass. Some say it's easier. And for them, Sweden is a winnable game.
Of course, it's a winnable game when you look at the pedigree of both teams on paper. The English, some would say, the home of modern football, are given the kind of resources at their disposal, in the games. But this is one English team that have reaped heavily from rule changes in running of the EPL.
Yeah.
When the rule was made that every English team should have at least a certain number of English players that will start. Man City spent splash so more money buying people like John Stones. Today we are seeing the result of that policy change. So for them, they've looked at what they've been doing in the past and what they need to do to go far. And this team has been able to. They almost bundled it against Colombia. That game full of so many incidences, but they are true now. And how many times have England won, progressed through penalty? They've been knocked out severally in penalty kicks. So it just means that perhaps this team has a momentum going for them. Harry Kane is the X factor of this team. He gets an opportunity, but he's a striker that have scored 6 goals so far in the competition, the leading goal scorer. Even if so many of the
penalty spots, but nobody remembers that. Let's flip it and talk about the Swedes. Good work ethic, you have said. They just like the Uruguayans, they know how to shut people out. They just shut you out. They don't care for how long you have the ball. They know how to restrict you.
Statistically, they are the biggest team in this tournament in terms of body size, height.
Body size, height.
So they have that. When you look at if you are a striker that is not strong-willed, perhaps maybe the size will scare you. They have very good work ethic. At some point, just before the World Cup,
they look like good athletes.
They were talking about Ibrahimovic coming back to this team. At some point, there was this talk of bringing him back to this team. Eventually, the coach decided against it.
So he didn't want it.
And so they had this set of players that have progressed over the years. They are the dark horses. Nobody saw them coming this far. Against Switzerland, we thought, okay, Switzerland, with what they have, the likes of Shaqiri and others, they should be able to break down this. The reverse was the case. They contained the Swedes, hit them with a goal, and I think if England approaches this game with that mind of, oh, it is Sweden, they can be beaten. They'll get the shock of their life. They just have to respect them. And
even the stats don't favor England. Talking about in recent times, most of the games have ended in draws. The Swedes, I think Romania as well, know how to get their number, even at the height of their power. Even without so-called golden generation, most of the games do end in a draw or a victory for the Swedes. So we'll see. But are you making a call?
For me, perhaps going the distance, penalties. At that point, it's anybody's game.
All right. So we'll see what happens in that one. For some, they feel that the Three Lions have already punched above their weight. I don't know if the fans back in England do agree with that. There's really nobody apart from Harry Kane. Well, maybe Jordan Pickford as well. Apart from those two, there's really nobody in that English setup that has really, lived up to expectation or impressed me. I don't know about you. If I'm going to mention any two, maybe just those two.
Maybe there's a difference between a team of stars and a star team. Perhaps it's more of a star team than a team of stars, because when you break them down and you begin to pick out players,
individuals.
You begin to pick out individuals. Brazil that came with individuals, the Neymar, the Coutinho, and they've since exited the World Cup. It's a function of how well you work with all of the things that you have. The gel, we see in this English team, you see an Ashley Young work his socks off, keeps running, keeps, you know, if he needs to dive, he has to dive. If he has to play some of those tricks that he used to do, he has to do it, because at the end of the day, looking for the result. Nobody's interested in how well you play,
the finesse,
how well you finish these games, and how well you do the tiki-taka. It's not their business. That's not for them. They just want to get the result. 1966, since they won the World Cup, at some point they feel they...
For a country that calls themselves the home of football.